A bedtime story. In the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, in 2nd century Ephesus, lived a woman whose quiet life became a true legend of resilience. The city of Ephesus was full of noise, the clatter of coins in the market, the shouts of merchants, the creak of carts heading to the harbor. Amid this chaos, few noticed small workshops where ordinary people created everyday miracles with their hands. Sophia was born into slavery. From early childhood, she served in the wealthy household of a merchant. Her mornings began long before dawn, carrying heavy jugs, wiping floors, helping in the kitchen. Yet even in this harsh world, a spark of curiosity burned inside her. She was secretly drawn to the scents of rose petals, myrrh, and fragrant resins. While adults saw only expensive goods that could be ruined, little Sophia saw magic. One day, left alone, she mixed rose petals with a drop of oil and hid her tiny creation in a shard of an amphora. The scent transported her to another world, softer and brighter than her everyday reality of orders and fear of punishment. As Sophia grew older, around the age of 10, her duties in the household changed. Mistress Aurelia, the strict but observant owner, noticed the girl's quick mind and began teaching her the art of making oils and ointments. Instead of carrying water and scrubbing floors, Sophia now spent her days in the storage room, surrounded by amphorae of olive oil, bundles of dried herbs, jars of honey, and fragrant resins. She learned how to crush leaves, infuse oils with iris petals, blend myrrh and rose, and carefully seal vessels so the mixtures wouldn't spoil. Her first real success came when she managed to create a delicate iris-scented oil after days of patient waiting. The faint smile of approval from Mistress Aurelia felt like the greatest reward. Fear always walked beside her success. One wrong move could ruin expensive ingredients and bring punishment. Yet these years of careful learning under constant pressure sharpened her senses. She began to understand each oil as if it had its own character, soft, sharp, or heavy. Evenings were still spent with other slaves, eating simple bean stew and listening to stories of distant lands and trade. In secret, Sophia dreamed of one day owning her own small shop. These dreams seemed impossible for a slave girl marked with a brand, but they gave her strength. By the time Sophia turned 18, Mistress Aurelia began taking her to the bustling market of Ephesus. For a girl who had spent most of her life within the walls of the household, this was both terrifying and exhilarating. Carrying heavy baskets of scented oils, she stepped into the chaotic world of shouting merchants, clinking coins, and crowds of buyers. At first, she only helped by holding the amphorae and watching. But one day, Mistress Aurelia asked her to persuade a hesitant young woman to buy a small jar of rose-infused oil. Gathering her courage, Sophia spoke warmly about how the oil would soften skin and carry a gentle fragrance through the day. To her surprise, the woman bought it. That small victory planted a deep seed in Sophia's heart. Her words, like her hands, could create value. From then on, she began learning the art of selling. She told simple stories about the origins of the herbs and the care put into each mixture. For sailors, she spoke of protection from salt and wind. For women, of beauty and comfort. Though she still wore the brand of a slave, for brief moments at the market stall, customers saw her not as a servant, but as someone who truly understood sense and care. At about 20 years old, Sophia was already trusted to speak directly with customers at the market. Mistress Aurelia allowed her to lead many sales. Sophia learned to adapt her words to each person. She told sailors how the ointment protected hands from salt and ropes, elderly people how it eased joint pain, and young women how the scent could linger beautifully into the evening. She discovered that the market responded not just to the quality of the product, but to the story behind it. Wrapping each jar in a small tale made the oils more desirable. Though she still carried the visible brand of slavery, many buyers began to see her as a skilled seller rather than just a slave. Then came a heavy blow. Mistress Aurelia fell ill and slowly passed away. The household fell into uncertainty. The new heirs viewed slaves primarily as property. Sophia feared she might be sold, or that her hard-earned knowledge would be lost. However, one of the younger relatives, who had observed her success at the market, noticed her value. One evening, he gave her a rare promise. If she continued to work diligently and bring profit, she could eventually buy her freedom. This promise became Sophia's guiding light. Every coin, every successful sale now carried new meaning, a step toward a life without chains. After years of tireless work and careful saving, the day finally came. Sophia gathered all the coins she had managed to keep from successful market sales and handed them to the younger heir. Her heart pounded as he accepted the payment with indifferent calm. A short legal ceremony followed. Simple words, witnesses, and an entry in the city records. Sophia was no longer a slave. She walked out of the household gates as a free woman. The streets of Ephesus suddenly felt wider, yet frighteningly uncertain. The brand on her body remained, a permanent reminder of her past. People still looked at her with suspicion. "Freed woman," they whispered, often with disdain. She rented a tiny damp room from an old sailor. With only a few amphorae of homemade ointments, she began selling on the street near the market wall. The first weeks were harsh. Many passed by with mockery. A former slave trying to trade? But slowly, small victories came. A tired soldier bought ointment for cracked hands. An old woman thanked her for relief from aching knees. With her small earnings, Sophia managed to rent a tiny corner stall on a busy street near the bread sellers and basket weavers. It was nothing grand, just a stone counter, a few wooden shelves, and a small table with a bronze mortar. Yet for her, it felt like a kingdom of her own. Every morning she opened the shutters, polished the amphorae so the oil caught the sunlight, and arranged the simple jars. At first, customers were few. Many free-born women avoided her stall, whispering that a freedwoman had no right to trade among honest merchants. But sailors with rough, salt-cracked hands began to return. An old washerwoman came back for ointment that healed cracked skin. Slowly, word spread among the working people of Ephesus. Sophia experimented with new recipes using local herbs. One mixture, thick and protective, became especially popular among sailors. She called it Sea Shield. It guarded skin against salt, wind, and rope burns better than anything else they had tried. Word of her ointment traveled from ship to ship. Life remained difficult. She still lived in the damp little room, ate simple food, and faced mocking glances. But each coin earned by her own hands brought quiet pride. The brand on her skin had not disappeared, yet more and more people began to see her simply as Sophia, the ointment maker. Success brought not only joy, but also new dangers. As Sophia's little stall grew more popular, envy from neighboring merchants increased. Some whispered that a freedwoman had no right to stand among honest traders. One morning, she found a broken jar. Her precious mixture spilled across the stone floor. Later, rumors spread that she diluted her oils with water. Instead of despairing, Sophia fought back with openness. She began opening jars right in front of customers, letting them smell and test the ointments on their skin. People saw the quality with their own eyes and gradually returned. She marked each of her vessels with a tiny personal sign pressed into the clay with her fingernail, a quiet symbol that these were truly hers. By the time she turned 30, her stall was no longer hidden in the corner. Regular customers came: sailors, washerwomen, craftsmen's wives. She started traveling outside the city to buy herbs and oil directly from farmers, learning to negotiate despite being a woman and a former slave. During a terrible epidemic that swept through Ephesus, her ointments became truly needed. People came not only for scented oils, but for soothing balms to ease fever and aching bodies. Sophia worked day and night, helping where she could. In those hard months, even former skeptics began to respect her. In the years after the epidemic, Sophia's life gained a quiet warmth. A weaver named Thea, also a freedwoman, became her close friend. Their friendship began simply. Thea came to buy a balm for her overworked, calloused hands. They started talking, first about herbs and fabrics, then about the shared burdens of former slaves. Thea understood Sophia like no one else. They spoke in low voices inside the stall about the constant suspicion from freeborn citizens, about the weight of the brand that never fully disappeared. In the evenings, when the market grew quiet, Thea would sometimes help arrange the jars or massage her tired fingers with Sophia's own ointment. Their bond was careful and deep, two women supporting each other in a world that still judged them. Sophia also began taking on young helpers from poor families.
Among them was a bright young man who quickly learned the recipes. She treated him almost like a son, passing on the knowledge once given to her by Mistress Aurelia. But trust can be dangerous. One day, several precious jars disappeared, and soon, a new trader appeared across the market, selling almost identical ointments. It was the young apprentice. The betrayal cut deeply. Sophia felt both anger and sorrow, but she refused to fight with accusations. Instead, she created new, even better recipes that he could not copy. Combinations born from years of intuition and care. Sophia decided it was time to seek greater protection for her work. In Ephesus, craftsmen formed guilds that defended prices, supplies, and their members. Women, especially former slaves, were rarely accepted. Still, she began talking with other women traders at the market, widows and independent sellers. Slowly, they started listening to her advice about herbs and fair dealings. One day, she entered a smoky meeting room where male craftsmen gathered. The air grew heavy with silence when she stepped in. "What is a woman, a freed woman, doing here?" someone muttered. Sophia stood firm and spoke clearly. She told them about dishonest traders who ruined the reputation of all oil makers and how honest work could protect everyone's trade. Her words, sharpened by years at the market, surprised them. Not everyone accepted her, but an old oil merchant quietly said afterward, "You speak sense. Come again." It was a small crack in the wall. Around this time, a refined hetera named Lydia entered her stall. Elegant and perceptive, she sought something special, an aroma that could stand out in luxurious gatherings. Sophia created a new complex blend with rare myrrh, Eastern resins, and spices. Lydia was delighted. Soon, servants from wealthy houses began coming, asking for the scent the hetera bought. Sophia's name quietly spread among higher circles, bringing new respect and new envy. The new luxurious blend brought Sophia not only wealthier customers, but also a different kind of recognition. Servants from noble houses now visited her stall regularly. She learned to speak with them calmly and respectfully, without lowering herself. Lydia, the hetera, continued to visit, sometimes sharing stories of poetry, music, and the refined world behind closed doors of the rich. For Sophia, a former slave, it felt surreal that her creations were now part of elegant evenings she would never attend. Yet this connection gave her quiet pride. Her work reached places her feet could not. Then came hard times for the entire city. A poor olive harvest, delayed ships, and rumors of distant wars caused oil prices to skyrocket. Many merchants raised their prices sharply or closed their stalls. Sophia faced a difficult choice: raise prices and lose her loyal poor customers, or keep them low and risk ruin. Remembering the lessons of careful preservation from Mistress Aurelia, she created a new, simpler, and more affordable line of ointments using local herbs and minimal precious oil. They were less fragrant, but still effective for everyday needs. Honest and practical, these new mixtures helped working people during the crisis. Her reputation as a fair trader grew even stronger. People remembered who stayed honest when times were hardest. After the difficult times of high prices passed, Ephesus slowly returned to its usual rhythm. Sophia's stall not only survived, but grew stronger. People remembered that when others raised prices or closed, she offered honest, affordable ointments for ordinary folk. New customers came, and old ones brought their friends.
She now had several young helpers, girls from poor families whom she taught with patience and care, just as Mistress Aurelia had once taught her. "Respect the oil as you would a living thing," she would say, "and always remember the person who will use it." The girls looked at her with admiration, seeing in Sophia not just a trader, but a true master. By now, her name was spoken without the mocking addition of the freedwoman. People simply said, "Go to Sophia. Her ointments are reliable." Sailors still sought her famous sea shield balm. Wealthy customers asked for rare fragrances, and simple women bought everyday remedies. Sophia's own life became a little easier. She moved to a slightly larger room, bought a proper bed, and could afford small comforts like soft bread and occasional grapes. Yet she never forgot her roots. The brand on her skin remained, but inside, she felt she had truly bought not only freedom, but dignity.
In the evenings, she often sat with her friend Thea, sharing quiet conversations about how far they had both come. Years passed, and Sophia approached her late 50s. Her hands, once young and quick, now moved more slowly, with occasional aches in the joints from decades of grinding herbs and stirring oils. Yet her stall remained a steady presence in the market of Ephesus. The wooden sign she had carved herself, a simple vessel with a flame above it, symbolizing oil and light, had become familiar to many. Her former apprentices now worked confidently beside her. They handled daily tasks, mixed basic ointments, and greeted customers with the same warmth Sophia had taught them. She no longer needed to stand at the counter from dawn to dusk. Instead, she often sat on a low bench near the entrance, observing the flow of life, offering advice when needed. Sailors still came for the famous sea shield balm. Wealthy clients sought her rare fragrances.
Ordinary people trusted her simple, honest remedies. The brand on her body had faded somewhat with time, but its memory never left her. Nevertheless, most now called her simply Sophia the Master, or the woman with the good hands. In quiet evenings, she would walk with Thea to the harbor, watching ships depart. They spoke little, but their shared silence held decades of understanding. Sophia often thought how strange life was. From a frightened slave girl stealing moments with rose petals, to a respected maker whose work traveled across the sea. As the golden evening light bathed the stones of Ephesus, Sophia sat on her usual bench by the stall. The market was closing, the last customers had left, and her young apprentices were carefully putting away the amphorae. At nearly 60 years old, she felt a deep, quiet peace she had never known in her youth. Her hands bore the marks of a lifetime of work, and the old brand on her skin had become a faint scar, a reminder, but no longer a chain. People now came to her not out of pity or curiosity, but out of genuine respect. Sophia the Master, they called her. Her ointments sailed with ships, soothed aching bodies in wealthy homes, and helped ordinary folk through daily hardships. Thea still visited often. The two old friends would sit together, watching the harbor lights flicker in the distance. "We did it," Thea would whisper sometimes. "We carved our own place." One quiet evening, as Sophia was about to close the stall, a young woman approached, one of her newest apprentices. The girl hesitated, then pulled out an old, worn clay shard from her pouch. "Master Sophia, I found this hidden behind the old shelves while cleaning. There was a note inside." Sophia took the shard with trembling hands. The faint scent of dried rose petals still clung to it.
the very same secret mixture she had made as a frightened child slave so many decades ago. The note, written in Mistress Aurelia's firm hand, read, "To the girl with the curious heart, may this small spark one day become your light. You were never truly just a slave to me." All these years, Sophia had believed her freedom was won solely through her own relentless struggle. But the note revealed the truth. Mistress Aurelia had secretly arranged the path to her manumission from the very beginning, leaving hidden clues and opportunities only for the girl who proved worthy. Sophia had not walked alone after all. With tears in her eyes, Sophia smiled at the young apprentice and the setting sun. Her story was complete. Not just one of survival, but of quiet, hidden kindness that had guided her all